good morning, sweethearts. Hello,
Good
Hadar,
morning.
Tony.
Hey.
Hey, so happy again to be here in our Saturday brunch meeting, which in a way was the idea of Hadar. This these meetings, more or less, right, girl? Wasn't it like this? Or I simply said, let's do a weekly. I so loved
Yeah,
it. Since we are working and occupied with families, it's not that easy to find
it's,
a space for this.
it's
And this
fun.
was not Saturday weekend, in a way. And
And it was kind of a nice spot between, like getting up, breakfast, and then after there is other
beautiful.
activities. It was a nice spot.
Yeah,
And then it was a good opportunity just to go a little bit deeper about, maybe topics or
yeah,
whatever comes up.
exactly.
Yeah.
Totally. So, what's going to happen now? Any topics, any impulses? Feel free to share.
Yeah, here was a booming week,
Tell me.
Mm. So yeah, it was a nice story, It was a nice story. Um, we got the story is about a bird, a canary bird that yeah, it's a small bird. I never had birds, so it's the first time. It just let's say just it was dropped from nowhere in a way. My husband was at work at the office, and then was this bird, yellow bird, canary, was just flying by next to the window, and it just stayed there, went up and down, but it didn't flew anywhere. So at the office, they just thought that it's gonna go, hi, Klaus.
Hey, Klaus.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao,
How are
ciao.
you?
Hadar
Good.
Hadar is sharing her story about the Canarian bird.
Oh,
Okay, so continue,
yes.
girl. Continue.
So this bird was there for the day because they didn't know what to do with it. And by the end of the day, they were afraid that the big bird's gonna hurt it. So everybody was trying to catch it. And my husband was just booming out straight, went to the store, got a cage, like a round cage, and he succeeded to put the cage on it, and he got the bird.
Cool.
So we did, they put like for 2 days, they put it in the Facebook, if somebody lost a bird, but it was less kind of a lost case because nobody can say, whose bird is it. So we kept it. We got a cage, we kept it, and it was beautiful. It was nice, nice company. I never had a bird, and these birds are so alive, very curious, this bird, and he was singing so nicely. And we after a few days we let it go from the cage, and it was doing like back and forth from the kitchen to the cage, so it was very comfortable, very, it was
It,
trusting.
it was feeling like home.
Yeah, surprised. He was just standing there very curious, watching what we are doing, go back and forth. And he was happy, we gave him food and everything. He was really, really happy. You can see, because he was singing a lot, you can see that the creature was really feeling very comfortable,
Yes,
and it was a joy. It was really
yes,
a joy to see that it was a sharing in a way. This, when you see something is happy, and so it's like echoing,
mm.
and so we had it for a month, and he started to get really comfortable. And so he was doing the cage to the kitchen, and now he was doing and we have 2 dogs and a cat, so he was doing cage in the living room now. So yesterday he was really 2 days ago he really wanted to go out very fast from the cage when we woke up. So we opened the cage, and 1 second we were like going around, and the cat was there. And then he went to the sofa, and we didn't see, and the cat was doing that. And then my husband was like, what's going on? And then I was running to the kitchen. He was in the kitchen, and he was like, so I picked him up on my hand, and he took the last breath, and I just stayed with it.
Oh,
It just like didn't move, and it was beautiful. And it's like, it was like, where is it? He wanted to come back, and it was so sad. I was
Yeah.
so sad.
yeah.
It's this just seeing that this beauty, this sharing, boom, finished.
No singing anymore.
No singing anymore, and all the memories just came up. I couldn't believe all the memories of his present came up. And
And then going to the cat.
so my husband was very angry. My husband was like, the cat. And I said, the cat did what he did. You cannot be angry at the cat. The cat is doing, and he was not really after it. Just because he moved, the cat did that. He did the so you cannot be angry at the cat. Yeah. The cat did the cat thing. Yeah. So it was a very funny experience, because we had it for 1 month, and so there was this sadness and the memories and missing his present there, and the kind of like really 1 day of like, ooh, like really missing it. And then it's all came very fast, and then it was gone like a dream. It was, by the end of the day, it was not there anymore. It was very fast. All the process went very, very fast between, the present of the animal was there, and then slowly it faded away. And then there was the need to say, okay, what we do now. And there was a need to go get another bird, because it was so beautiful, this interaction, with the bird. So it was not like, like, okay, I'm going to replace, because before I could think, oh, I replaced something. No, it was done. It was just this, with the whole thing. And then was the need, like, to go to continue the song. So go to check for another bird, because this interaction was really beautiful.
Yeah.
So it was not like I'm replacing you. It was beautiful memory, beautiful interaction, and then was a need to go to.
It's just like this beautiful memory of this beautiful song, like needs to continue. Just continue. Why not? Why not? And not like a neediness to fix the emotion, the loss, and it seems to be very intensive, and then the story is poof, gone. Just the beauty is left in a way.
Yes. Yeah. And it shows that this was unique. It was very unique with this creature, with this bird, the whole thing. And then it's evaporated like it was like a dream, but it was very, very existing at the moment. The sadness and the missing it, the longing for that you will be back, and the beauty. And then slowly got evaporated, like it was there. But I can connect with that if I bring the memory. There is still I can remember it and have the connection. And then we went to the the pet store to look for birds. And they're really packed in cages and a lot. And I didn't feel, right to get it from there. And then we're looking for maybe somebody that raised them in the house. It felt, like it's more, it felt better to go to, and we found somebody that they have birds in the house that he I don't know how you call it in English. Here it's élevage, that just like somebody passionate about bird. And we got 2 of them now.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then they are very nice, the same, the different birds, and the interaction, the curiosity, and you just can sit and watch them, the way they watch you, and the way they sing. Beautiful.
Oh,
so yeah. So
sweet, Hadar. Thanks for sharing. And I would say let's go then with today's topic. Just for fun, of course. Let's go with this sadness and maybe the feeling of loss. Yeah, a very beautiful story. I love it. Yeah. And so wonderfully empty and full on at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very full. And you can say, no, a dowry is just a bird, people losing a baby, children and families. But I think it's the same in a way. It's the same. It might be, of course, if you lose a child, it's like 10 times more. But the feeling of loss and the grief and the longing for the present of this interaction, all the full-on story that was created there, and the longing for it or not. Sometimes, maybe it was like really a relief for somebody that, that the story ended and the interaction ended. It can be also that. But it's a full-on story and it's evaporating
Yeah,
after.
and this reminds me of the story with my mother. So as you said, this was in a way a huge relief. And this was beautifully seen how empty the story is. What was left was just beauty. And it was full on, of course, but more gradual, different, because she was suffering from cancer and it was a long period of time connecting with her. And then, poof, God, free, open, love. No bitterness, no heaviness left. And memories popping up. Oh, what a beauty. No, just, yeah.
Beautiful song, beautiful story.
Totally. What a beauty, yeah. Sweethearts, Klaus, Tony, you want to share something? This must not be about the sadness and loss, but maybe what happened in the week, whatever. Yeah, Klaus, go on, sweetheart.
Yeah, here it's okay if there is a feeling of sadness after a big loss. So it's okay if you feel destroyed inside after a big loss. And if we talk about acceptance, there can be the acceptance for the going away of a dear person. And in the same time, there can be acceptance for the feeling of depression that comes after. So when we say it's full-on energy, booming energy, it's depression included, of course. So there is a kind of okayness in regards of every situation, inner situation that may arise after a big loss. What do you think? Could be so.
Totally.
Yeah.
Everything can arise. It's crazy, like everything can arise. You have no control of it. Whatever comes up, it can be anger, it can be a big sadness, longing. The longing is strong, longing for the present, for the story to continue. Everything is
I remember the husband of my friend Margie. They love dogs, and he is also a dog, like working with dogs, like a hobby. And he once said to me, Rosa, in a way, the dog is really your best friend ever. And they always kept dogs which are in a way handicapped. They got them and took care of them. And they had, I guess, 4 dogs, big dogs always. And then one dog passed after the other. And the one of the dogs, they decided to get, I don't know how it's the word, castrated. And this is like surgery, which is very common, nothing special about this. And I mean, they have so much experience with everything, just going to the routine thing. And then afterwards, the dog is dead. And this was not a handicapped dog. This was a beauty, really a beauty, called Goldie. And I can now, Klaus, that you said after a loss there can be a depression, and I can remember how Margie told me. Of course, it was shocking, very, very sad, also for her. But the husband, in a way, he really felt in a way into a depression. It was for him like unbearable. And yeah, this is it too. It's just a natural reaction of the body, reacting like this, and full on, no escape.
What I remember also, like the mind is going right away for the blaming, you know. I could have done this. He wants, you know, the logic wants to go to that. I could have, you know, it's my fault, you know, I could, because it was my responsibility and I did wrong. This can go very strongly, this story, this blame.
Yeah, this
So
goes
right,
automatically. This goes automatically.
Yeah.
There is only this possibility for just me and my story. So this has cause and effect. So let's see what was wrong. What could I have, you know, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. And this is in a way the suffering. This is in a way the suffering. Without those beautiful ideas and stories attached to this, is just boom. That's it.
Yeah.
No
And
dog.
here it came up what was not going with the story. You know, I saw it's coming up, you know, we could have, you know, and then it just erased, and then not going, you know, no going with the story, not developing, you know, just, you know, not, there was no discussion. But
yeah, beautiful. No interest in the story, we can say. But now, at the same time, maybe Hadar will change now the thing with the two other birds. Maybe
so
there is now, yeah.
Exactly, because my husband said, you know, we have to be careful. We have, you know, I said, listen, the body, it will do exactly, he learned already. We don't need even to say that, because now automatically, knowing there is a cat, be more careful. The cat was not interested in the bird in a way, because this is why we felt comfortable, because she never showed a sign of, you know, chasing it or wanting to. It just happened just because she will do the same. If I will do the hand like that, she will do the, you know, she will do that. So this is kind of like an accident. But I said, you don't even need to say that, because the body already learned to be careful. You know, you fell down, you know, in a hole. The body already knows to make like that already, you know. So even the word, it will be automatically being careful now, because there, we know there is kind of a danger there. So maybe not opening, maybe just like opening the cage when the cat is not there, but it's automatic, you know. So this
Maybe
this,
giving the cat away. No.
because
Just
it's
kidding.
funny, because the man in the house, I see the reaction of the man in the house, because there was, my husband was right away saying, the cat will stay outside, he will not live here anymore. And you know, I was resonating, you know, I said, it's our cat, and you will cry for this cat the same way you cry for the bird, you know. And you will put the cat and the bird the same, you know, you made a little grave for them outside, you will put them the same place next to each other. So the cat did what the cat. And
Yes.
my father-in-law was doing the same. I would have just, you know, sent the cat away.
Get rid of the problem. Just eliminate the problem. So
And
sweet.
so the woman, my mother-in-law, and me, and said, yeah, but this is a cat, do what the cat do, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, but I just saying that it's not even need to say, now you have to be careful for with it. If there, I see that how the body, the learning is so automatically, you know, there is a danger and the body is acting differently. There is a change of actions automatically. Without, you know, like giving like the morale, you know, like now you have to be careful, or, you know, you should do different, or this, that. It's not even necessary, because it's so natural to learn like that.
Yeah. Tony, is there something coming up?
Yes, about suffering and sadness and the feeling of loss. On the one hand, we can say that we are lucky enough to know, so to speak, that this suffering is happening by its own and has no owner. And it's kind of new, no? And I am very, very grateful to this message, no? Or to the open secret message, one could say. But on the other hand, we here is the feeling that we have always known this in a way. And in a way, everybody knows. And of course, this is said, you know, not religion, but tradition, so to speak. But not only, even in good literature, I'm a lover of novels. And I remember when I was in my 20s, I was shocked with very paragraphs of the most important writers, Tolstoy, Flaubert, all of them, Dickens. And I remember Dickens, I don't remember the novel, but in a moment, there's a woman, an old woman, who is dying, agonizing, in a very Dickensian, old, dirty room. And her son is entering, and he sits on the bed and takes the hand of her mother and asks her, "Mom, are you suffering a lot?" And the mom answers, "Well, I realize there's a lot of suffering in this room, but I don't know if it's mine." And that was, for me, and that is told in a very different, of course, in poetry. Beautiful. And of course, Shakespeare says, and of course, the great writers, Tolstoy's, for example, I don't know if you have read The Death of Ivan Ilyich. That's all the story, a man agonizing and remembering all his miserable life. At the moment, at the end of the novel, he dies. And in the last breath, he realizes, wow, the death doesn't exist. And this is told in a very, very different ways.
Yeah.
But of course, this message has created something very condensated and very clear and with a very strong language. And I am very grateful. But on the other hand, we have always known this. Here is this sensation.
Beautiful.
Nothing is everything. We have
Tony,
always,
beautiful,
always.
beautiful.
So, because it's so clear, it's obvious. But these words, the condensing, and is magnificent. But this is always known.
Beautiful, Tony. This is always known because this is it. We are it. There is no but just this.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So of course it is known. How not? Of course. Yeah. So beautiful. Yeah, and you're right. Like no matter if you look at nature, or no matter what, art,
no matter what,
reading novel, watching music, listening to music, watching like people dancing. This is showing, screaming. That's it. That's it.
And that there's not free will and choice has always been so obvious. No, sometimes I thought, how is it working that people think that they have free will? It's happening, the decision is happening, and the opinion is nobody is choosing the opinions and the decisions. It's happening. It has always been like this. By now, it's so obvious that it's not worth thinking in it, because it's, well, the body knows, Hadar has said, the body, so to speak. No, it's not worth to think in it. You put in words, well, it's not needed, but it's automatically, spontaneously, innocently celebration, absence, both going on, going on, going on.
Beautiful, beautiful, Tony. Love it. We can maybe also say, like, as you mentioned, how is it possible to even have the idea that I have a choice?
Yes.
We can simply say, like, when this is seen, there is simply this change of perspective. Then it's obvious.
Yes.
But it's the same, of course.
Yes.
For me, it comes from the idea, the first idea, I think.
I am.
I think, even if, you know, there is this sentence, I exist because I think.
Yeah.
So if
Ich
I
denke,
think,
also bin ich. I think that's why I am. I exist.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the misunderstanding. It's starting there. I'm the one that creates the thinking.
Yeah.
So of course I'm gonna want that the doer.
And when we skip it, when we just change the perspective, the whole game changes. It's a different game.
Exactly.
For no one. For no one.
This the flip side, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
When I was a child, I used to go to the school, imagine Spain, 60 years ago, religious school. Imagine the priest talking to you about free will and choice. You have to choose between good and evil, and you have to be strong enough to choose. How is it working? Because nobody wants to be a psycho killer or an abuser, but if you can do otherwise than choose the bad, so to speak, then besides you will be punished. But how does it work? Free will is not, it's so obvious. The choosing arises on its own. And then the me is proud or ashamed because the choosing that he has to make is ridiculous.
Yeah, beautiful. That is, in a way, the freedom. No choice in becoming a serial killer.
This is the freedom.
Yeah, that's the freedom. And there is no suffering in it. There is just what's happening. Boom. In this directness, it's just what is.
And if you want to take it more further, the priest that says, you know, you have to choose between the good and the bad is this too, that it's the game, you know, it's this speaking in this way. This is like the show, the Shakespeare show, you know, like the priest that you have, there's no one to choose between the good and the bad already, you know. So it's even this is a game, kind of the game as a priest saying that, or, you know, very severe, and there is a choice.
Let's mention now before and after, just as a story. So we can say this priest, this teacher, is completely trapped in the story, whatever this means. And then after this change of perspective, it's seen, oh wow, booming freedom already. And then this may in a way lead to a lightness, easygoingness, not that much seriousness. So we can say after this change, there may be a deepening, in a sense, like the story gets better. But for whom is the story getting better? Yeah.
The story never gets better.
No.
Explain, Tony.
No, I don't know how to explain.
Because nothing is happening.
It's obvious. It's obvious. Nothing is ever better. Better and worse, who knows? Who's putting the labels? It's not better. Nothing is better or worse. Here is feeling like this, and always has been. For example, the responsibility thing. The same priest they told us, in the future you will be men of profit. And I thought, being a man, that one day Sander spoke about being, what's being a man? I hear happened the same. A man? What? I'm not a woman. Let's be a man, but of profit, unresponsible. What does it mean? Responsible means nothing. Responsibility doesn't exist. It's so clear. Not responsibility. Only this. And this is not worse and better. Can't be. Can't be. Because there's always tragedy within the comedy, and comedy within the tragedy, and seriousness, and they're always interpreting each other.
Yeah.
No, always changing.
Duality, always
Apparent,
both of them. Never.
Yes, apparent duality, but really nothing changes.
That's why apparent, because it's empty.
Yes.
It's in a way not real, and
not real, but the mind can do otherwise than try to understand through apparent polarities, comparing, labeling, judging, better, worse.
This thing must be kept upright, one idea after the other, constantly, keeping up the story. Otherwise, what is this without a story, without an idea? Boom!
Boom.
And this is the fear in a way. This is the death. When this is simply seen as, okay, whatever.
We are death, absolutely. And death doesn't exist, I say, Ivan Illich. Doesn't exist. Death, really.
Beautiful.
There's only this.
And not even this.
And
Klaus.
not even this.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Tony. I resonate a lot with these words, and I find them completely logic. I know that in duality and non-duality, we don't talk about logic so often, but Tony's words are logical and in the same time somehow obvious. They are obvious now, but maybe years ago for me it wasn't so obvious. So of course we can talk about a kind of shift or realization. Something must happen to recognize the obviousness of Tony's words. And so in the story we can call about, we can talk about a shift in perception. So from a moment to another, it is very, very clear that there never was a free will, because there is not an actor in here or a doer, and it's not my fault or anybody's fault if I am more aggressive or reactive than another. So it's nobody's fault if I am born in a family of criminals, for instance. So it's not my fault if I will do crimes. It's nobody's fault. And it's clear that the absence of fault immediately it leads to total freedom, because there was never somebody to be guilty of anything or to have merits either. So in this absence of a doer, freedom is what remains. And it has always been like that. You might understand it now and not in the past, but like it or not, it has always been like that. Total freedom. No actors, no God controlling the world. just what's happening now without a meaning, leading to no goal, no purpose, it becomes obvious. So what Tony says, it's very remarkable, but for us here in this Zoom meeting, it could be something like very, okay, it's normal. What else? Yeah, but I just want to underline that the things that we say here, they're not so common. So
Yeah.
that's why it's a kind of
Klaus,
it's a-
Klaus, this is beautiful because I always tend to forget. And I'm cracking up, outside and okay,
Beautiful,
maybe the
Klaus,
reaction.
beautiful, beautiful. But there are not others.
Yeah.
Of course, yes.
There's only freedom, only unconditional love. It's so obvious. This is
Yeah.
unconditional love. Can't be otherwise. Only unconditional love. Compassion.
Yes.
Unconditional compassion that has nothing to do with personal compassion. Personal compassion is something very, very, very weird.
Yeah.
And absolutely misleading. Feeling so compassionate that wants to help you because I've been struggling a lot and I want you to not struggle. I'm going to help you. This kind of compassion is very, 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 well, nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly. This is it too, Tony. This is it too. No escape. This is the beauty. And sweetheart, shall we continue with part 2? Do you have time?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will start and maybe in the middle I will
Okay.
say. Okay.
Beautiful, sweetheart. See you in part number